Hey, Crystalline21 here, and I'm going to talk about my Charmers again, mainly because there's not much going on with my Infinities right now. Infinities are Infinities right now until I get, until the barriers come out. I probably won't be talking about Infinities too much just because I need to play around with 3 barriers. Right now I only have 1, so I just gotta wait for that. But once that does come out, I'll be having more discussions about it and how it can affect the meta and all that stuff. But right now I want to talk about Charmers. These cute little cards right here that are actually fairly decent, at least this deck is. Just because, I don't know if it's just because of how I'm playing or not, but it's decent. It's just, right now I just need more practice with it and the rest of the deck, which I don't have the rest of the deck. So I'll just go through it because I did make a few changes. So 1 Hita, 2 Win, 2 Eerie, 1 Asu, 2 Derek, and 2 Leon, 2 Familiar Possessed Derek, Familiar Possessed Hita, Familiar Possessed Wayne, Familiar Possessed Eerie, and an Asa. Then you got the Effect Failure, 2 Summoner Monk, 2 Blizzard Princess, 1 Gorus, 1 Dragonic Knight. Spells, we have Pod Duality, 3 One Day of Peace, 2 Book of Secret, 3 Spellbook of Wisdom, 3 Book of Tenyu, Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, 2 MST, 2 Waboku, and a Dark Bride. That is the deck that I am running. My extra deck consists of 1 Alchemic Magician, 1 Stream Djinn, 2 Photon Pathra Operative, 1 Maestro, 1 Level Chain. Can't wait till that hit an arsenal. I'm gonna try to get a box of that. 1 Leviair, Gaia, Scrap, and number 39 and number 34. That's the extra deck. Now let's talk about my choices on the Charmers. Alright, so the way that you will have to set this up is basically your first deck will, or the first game will basically, what do you think you will need? What do you think your opponent will be playing? What is most likely to happen? If I would go to a regionals, I would have 2 Hita, 3 Eerie, 2 Asu, 2 Derek, then 1 of these. 1 of both of those. Why? Because we have Levels, Fire Fist, and all that coming up. We have Mormon Atlanteans, and then we have Geargia. Also, this works for the Dino Rabbit stuff. If the deck gets finished, you could do definitely some damage to Rabbit with these by making sure you know what you're doing. Basically set. Then you would play Spellbook of Fate. Since it's a quick play on their turn, then you take control of their monster, like their Dino Rabbit that they summoned. So yeah. And I also figured out what Charmers need. To make Charmers an actually consistent deck, they would need either a field spell or a continuous spell or trap that will allow them to well, the effect would have to be this. Once per turn, you can send one Charmer from your hand to your deck to add one Charmer of a different element from your deck to your hand. That would basically make the deck more consistent. I mean, like 100 times more consistent, because you wouldn't have to worry about, am I going to draw the right Charmer? You just draw a Charmer, you have that out, then you just trade the Charmer for one you need and hope you have a Book of Tenyu or a Spellbook of Fate. Which in this deck you should have one or the other fairly often. I need to get Spellbook of Fate. Please message me if you have one. I will trade for them. I may buy them if you have a play set of them. I may buy them, but I'll probably only pay 5 to 7 for them, depending if they're Ultra or Ultimate, because they are not worth very much. But then game 2, depending on what they're running. If they're running Atlanteans, side out 3 of those. Or side in 3 of these. Take out all of this, and maybe leave one of this, just leave one of the other. You basically will replace 2 of these with 2 of those, then take out one of each. Why you just leave one? Because Daigusta, Laval Chain, and also wind up I forget, it's the fire one. That's very annoying. But these are just for extra deck cards. There aren't a lot of extra deck, well, there's not a lot of seeds that are Earth right now, besides Gemknight Pearl, and I don't even want to get into Gemknight Pearl, because Gemknight Pearl is just stupid, and you don't really have to worry about it, because most of your monsters are 28. Well, at least your boss monsters are. And then if you deal with that, it can go up even more if you play smart. But really, game 2, you just need to focus on what are they playing, what is the least likely that they'll have one of these. Then you want to side in either, because you always want to limit the number of Charmers that you'll be drawing and increase the number of spells. Well, game 2, good chance you won't be running all 6 of them. Good chance game 2, you'll only be running 4 to 5 of them. Because it's like, if I'm facing Atlanteans, I'm going to make sure I have all 3 of these. One of these, just in case they go into Daigusta, or they go into that one rank 2. That's a win that I can take control of. Laval Chain, Utopia. Then this is for when they go into a Maelstrom, because, believe it or not, Maelstrom is a dark. So, if they go Maelstrom, you have an answer for it. If they go Utopia, you have an answer for it. You just have to make sure that you have, I mean, if they're playing Geargia, I'll make sure to have all 3 of these. Take out all those, because good chance you're not going to have any water in there unless they go Acid Golem, which then if they go Acid Golem, just stall and let them burn themselves out. Because you can stall long enough in this deck, definitely long enough in this deck, to make Lava Golem hurt them more than they want. But yeah, you want to take out all those, and maybe leave these again, because in Geargia they probably still have Daigusto, Laval Chain, or the Zenmine. You always want to have at least one Hita, just because there's always that the Laval Chain and the Wind-Up that you can take control of and get rid of. You always want to have at least one Derek, because Derek, Familiar Possessed, is the only one that actually searches for light. So really, it's nice just to have that extra surge to get this out of the deck, and you want to have a target for it, so you normally keep one of each of those in. Plus, a lot of decks, I mean, if they run a few light darts, good chance you're going to try to splash into BLS. Imagine you take control of the BLS, then you spam Pow, pow, pow. You have nothing to attack me with. So yeah, that is really it for this. Yeah, I zoomed in on my phone. That way it's not so big. And you get this nice, lovely, full picture of Charmers. So yeah, that's really what you want to focus on doing if you're playing this deck. If you thought it was fun like I did and thought you'd just give it a try, it is actually a fairly good deck when you get used to it. When you get used to playing with it. I'm still not used to playing with it. I still make dumb misplays and all that because of Dark Hole. Dark Hole just keeps burning me. Oh man. Today I went to my friends again and I got out this. Second turn I have it out, they open up Dark Hole. I'm like, why did I grab the MST? But of course they were playing Dark World, so... Well, not really Dark World. They don't really have a set deck. I mean, one of them has a Samurai deck that's based off one structure deck. Yeah, they really need help. Okay. Crystalline 21. Peace.